afternoon, good evening, depending your time zone. We are back as promised and to continue the in-depth analysis of events. Of course, to give a review of the updates regarding the latest developments and of course the ongoing massive strike in Nigeria across the regions of this country as today marks the 2nd August, being the second day of the mass protests against starvation, against hunger, against misgovernance or bad government, to end bad government. Now we're going to review how are they ending this bad government. That is the first point to note here. How? You see, when you begin something you don't know how to finish, then it means you might end up finishing yourself. So, or aggravating the situation, how are they ending this bad government? That is the fundamental. There must be a drive, there must be a focus, and there must be, of course, a response time as the case is. What is the response time? What is the time they are giving to the government, or perhaps they have set for themselves to end the bad government? Could it be just an endless rhetorics? Whatever be the case, we are here to discuss this and more. Of course, intriguing and exciting information here in CallWave TV. I welcome you once again. As you join us, kindly hit the like buttons. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for standing in. And if you're new in this channel, kindly hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and of course, turn on the notification button so that you can get our videos once it's been uploaded. And of course, whenever we are live, just as this, you could as well be the first set of people that could be notified in this regard. Once again, kindly hit the like buttons as you join us in this exciting moment. Simon Iba, of course, have expressed deep concern over this development, being more proactive than ever imagined. He perhaps could have seen the dangers ahead or the planned conspiracy to lure the Igbo people into the strike or the defunct Biafran territory into this protest, and by so doing, use that opportunity to unleash mayhem on the innocent citizens who might possibly not know whatever agenda is covered up or hidden under the disguise of mobilization of the national protest. Now, what does this protest tend to achieve? This is fundamental. And what is the time, response time? They have set such goals to achieve that. Could it be just a mere political jamborees? And the way or manner they have expressed their positions, could it get the attention of those within the corridor of power, precisely the target audience, which are the executive, the legislatures, and possibly the judiciaries, the public office holders? Now we are to have a recap of the latest happenings we've seen in different parts of the country. Of course, just as we're going to deliberate here this moment, we've seen some intriguing and exciting moments here, honestly, where we observed that in Ojota, a man naked himself. Could it be a way of expressing grievances or dissatisfaction? After doing that, what could be achieved by doing so? Of course, many people have naked themselves in the past. And what could they achieve? Even during the cashless policy or whatever you call it, that never saw the light of the day. Unfortunately, several thousands or millions of Nigerians were frustrated. Some died as a result of that. Some naked themselves in public spaces, especially the in various commercial banks. At the end of the day, they could not achieve anything. Of course, the political class and uh, their servants has to do what, of course, the biddings of the masters is. At the end of the day, people suffered, died, frustrated, and life continues. Nobody, unfortunately, the new dispensation, the government came and said, well, everybody can continue with the old notes. So the people who has destroyed by the reason of their policies have caused more pain on Nigerians. So people lost their life, even pregnant women lost their life because they couldn't access their funds, their money, in order to cater for their basic or emergency, the state of emergency in hospitals. I know what Nigerian hospitals is now, especially the government hospitals. Once you don't have your money complete, you won't be attended to. In fact, you have to go somewhere, especially Lagos, to pay the bill. You are issued with a clearance notice. You go there and collect a receipt. In fact, it's not something that you could easily get over if you don't have the cash. So some pregnant women died, of course, in the with the with their fetus without being operated. We heard that, and it's very gory, very sad story indeed. But then, at the end of the day, it appears that nothing happened. So, what exactly have these people set out to achieve, and how do they intend to achieve this? And what is the response time? Of course, these are things that they must consider if actually they are really serious, and which I doubt from what is seeing and observing. These people seems to be disillusioned and having no direction and objective. Of course, they're just shouting they are hungry. And at the end of the day, what happens? What do you intend to achieve? Yes, end bad government. We all acknowledge and accept the fact that Nigeria has become more destructive to her citizens. In fact, not just to her citizens, everyone within residents within Nigeria is at the state of jeopardy. I mean, at the risk of extinction by hunger or by sword. The insecurity is rocking the entire region of this country. So nowhere appears to be safe. Not even, of course, the Abuja, the seat of power, is safe anymore because the residents of Abuja of most recent have been expressing great fears, disappointment over the incessant attacks, raids, and of course, kidnapping that is going on there. Then this is just to set a preamble for today's discussion. We've said, of course, Ojota, we saw from the thumbnail, you can see a man who naked himself, but does that solve the problem? What kind of narrative, what kind of history do you want to make? That is fundamental. Does these people even care whether you naked yourself, you strip yourself nude, naked on the street? They don't care. They don't care. You can go to hell. That is their business. So if by that you think you can get the sympathy or attention of these people, you are just making a very costly mistake. Now, what do you intend to achieve? What is the time frame, and when could you believe to achieve that? Well, that is not a subject of discourse today, but in line with the discussion, we're going to stray these positions and, of course, understand the predicament of the Nigerian populace, of course, in the face of these current realities. Now, it would have been more bloodier, you see, if this protest was observed in this Biafran territory or in the southeast, precisely. Why? Because it had been alleged that there is some notions or the conspiracy, some plans were undisclosed that possibly that would have been an opportunity to unleash mayhem and uh, take their own pound of flesh for some security personnel that have been killed or murdered. So it would have been more bloodier if this protest was observed in the eastern part of Nigeria. And to this end, Simon, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in Israel, in his wisdom, perhaps have seen what is about to happen, that the target of hostility was just the Igbo race or perhaps the Biafran by extension. And in order to avert the possible onslaught or bloody experience in the entire Biafran territory or the supposed eastern region or Biafran territory, of course, they needed to boycott whatever protests going on. And he enjoins the people to remain resolute and consistent in their position and never to join the protest. Well, this is the second day for the protest. Well, he said the Biafran government has demonstrated the highest duty of care for the Biafran citizens by making sure none of them participate in Nigeria protests. It would have been more bloodier than what you see in other parts of Nigeria. You see, they hate us with passion and we can't fall victims again. This is just his statement. And our fight must be to end anything Nigeria in our land. This is the position of this Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in Israel. He has made his point very clear that his intention for calling on Biafrans to boycott this protest was because he cares for the lives of Biafrans and would not want, of course, any Biafran blood to be shed in the course of the Nigerian project or Nigerian protests, that did do not believe in one Nigeria and as such could not contradict or their position regarding this position they have maintained. They are Biafrans and are not Nigerians. Just as I cited, it would have been more bloodier, honestly, if that had been observed. But nonetheless, we are to review certain happenings. Yes, also in Edo State is being reported there are flames going up. The flames going up. Only God knows how far this could have descended because it is quite unfortunate. Some say that it's a peaceful demonstration, but from what we have seen, there's nothing peaceful about the demonstration. It could be termed peaceful if the attention of the government of Nigeria is drawn to the plight of the Nigerians, citizens, and of course being addressed. That is fundamental. But if this does not happen, you can't say that such protest is successful or peaceful. It is not, except you are procrastinating the evil days, as we can see, or perhaps we are to be proven wrong just in the course of the week. We might be having some surprises springing up, but whatever be the case, we are very much at alert and will continue to intimate the public of what is happening and eventually analyze based on the own perspective and the current realities happening in Nigeria and across the world. Now, it would have been more deadlier. It is not just a statement. And I mean, it is a well-established statement because he said they hated us with passion. So anything that could have happened, of course, or the provocations could have been more brutal and ruthless. And the security operatives, of course, will be ruthless with the protesters in the eastern part of the country, or according to Simon Iba, the Prime Minister, the Biafran defunct territory. But whatever be the case, we've seen and we are going to analyze reasons why people are protesting. Just as information reaching us is that Governor Yusuf, of course, backs the protesters, that even the militaries violate rules and principles. They are ending this crisis. Of course, he said that planned nationwide protest. Governor Yusuf backs protesters, accuses police of insubordination. Yes, a sitting governor in Nigerian state has backed the protests, have supported the protests, that regardless of whatever his counterparts, of course, the ruling class might think about this protest, that it is a call, a wake-up call for the politicians and his allies, of course, to wake or live up to their responsibilities as the case is. But who is to be held responsible? And that is fundamental. Even as the protest is going on, who should be held responsible and what is the intention, of course, for those convening this or sponsoring this protest? What do they intend to achieve? I've heard that they are calling for constitutional reform or to jettison the 1999 constitution, but how far are the legislatures who have become beneficiaries of this flawed system of the illegal constitution? They have given them leverage, of course, and undue advantage against the population of Nigeria. So what exactly convinced you that these people will be able to accept and adopt such a notion, which they know, of course, will in its entirety deprive them and deny them and possibly dislodge them from uh, being relevant and, of course, holding on to power and those juicy privileges uh, they enjoyed prior to this time? Would they respond? Would they act proactively? Would they heed, of course, to the yearnings of Nigerians who have trooped to the streets? Some walking, strip themselves naked, just to make some impressions, but the people don't care, even though you bat yourself with scissors. But that is quite unfortunate. Then what can we say about this development? Because it does not in any way foster any unity of progress or tends to address the myriads of problems bedeviling the Nigerian populace. There is hunger in the land, there is starvation, there is insecurity, there is malnourishment, maladministration, and whatever you are seeing. In-depth corruption and nepotism. Just as we learned of recent that even the militaries are complaining that they have been their, their feeding is not well up to standard. They're, they're, they're receiving, of course, a very poor diet is being served, while, of course, the military spokesperson came out to debunk such a viral video that went viral in social media, that these people are eating just like animals. And it's quite unfortunate. Of course, of most recent, we've had the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, calling for an immediate review of the remuneration of the Nigerian military or security operatives. But whatever be the case, we are not denying the reality, including the military who might be mobilized against the masses, of course, who are protesting even for their own interests. But unfortunately, you see some disgruntled elements among the security operatives who will also, of course, become so hostile and possibly antagonistic in the approach to addressing these myriads of problems even bedeviling them and their families. We've heard of most recent the viral video that went viral while on vacation, of course, taking his annual leave. One of the military officers wanted to visit his families in the east or perhaps in the southern region from Meduguri. He was told that the transportation was 35,000 just uh, transportation to his destination, not just the return, of course, fare, transport fare, let alone having something to leave or drop for his family for upkeep and for himself as well. So that was very the height of frustration, demoralization. Of course, even the militaries are passing through, but they could not deny the realities, except that, unfortunately or blindly, they're walking uh, into their grave by opposing the protesters. Whatever be the case, these protesters really are certain of what they want and how they intend to achieve it. And of course, alternative B, if the first alternative is not working, these are very important issues that would have been noted prior to this time. Well, this is the two for that matter. We've had the pandemonium in the Benin. Could it be politically motivated? I know election is coming around the corner, and the already tense political space is being aggravated by this current protest, which means a vote of no confidence to the administration of APC, and of course Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who happens to be uh, in the helm of affairs. We've seen how the reckless spendings and uh, of course, of the scarce resources, how local governments and the states have shared more allocations than ever, of course, in the history of Nigeria. Now, in the midst of this allocation, you begin to ask what exactly is happening. They are not fixing roads, they are not building hospitals, they are not creating more job opportunities for the Nigerian populace. And yet they are spending more than, they are sharing more than, I mean, trillions. They run into trillions on monthly basis. You begin to ask, what are they doing with this money? Are they busy looting the same money? Because we've not seen, not even in the Ministry of Works, not even in the health sector, I mean, issue that should justify the humongous budget uh, that is being provided annually. It does not even affect the common masses, just as we can see that the cost of food prices and commodities have hiked, escalated in the history of Nigeria, where a tuber of yam is within the average of 10,000 or more, depending on the size. And a delica of beans is something else. You begin to ask, how could people survive? How could people relatively survive these economic mishaps? And some are saying you don't need any protest. You only need some time to be given to Ahmed Bolati. Which other time did he need? That is fundamental issues that must be addressed. Will he need eternity to fix just the basic needs of Nigerians? This is not just about a serious concern, a serious matter. I mean, somebody with less or little, of course, economic background would definitely, naturally fix the nagging issues bothering on Nigeria. So why should people, of course, be made to suffer by just careless and callous attitudes, or perhaps ineptitude of the part of those within the corridor of power? That becomes very fundamental. And that, of course, poses a more concern that with these people really attend to this nagging need of the Nigerians. They said, well, that the price of fuel should be returned to 200. How possible is that under the same administration that have fared woefully and have not provided any solution? to any of the problem, rather has compounded the same, of course, against the masses. So how could that be realistic? Of course, to do away with the constitution, current constitution or 1999 constitution, that it does not serve the interests of Nigerians and the interests of peace, of unity and progress. Well, do you think the Tinubu, the Jagaban, who had benefited from this flawed system, the Abapios and his likes, the Carlos and his like, of course, we work against a system that sustain them there, even when it is apparently uh, unmistaken that they are just parasites, parasitic in nature. They are not there to serve the masses. Otherwise, life would have been more better. Attentions and priority must have been placed given to the citizens of Nigeria. But it's unfortunate. Well, it is not a surprise. Just kindly hit the like buttons as we go. Hit the like buttons, share this video, let it go viral, let it go viral, let it go, let others get to join us here so that we can discuss these important issues. Yes, as rightly submitted by the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, this would have been more bloodier if been observed in the southeastern part. And because they are perceived to be the target of hostility by those who are in corridor of power, who perhaps might not want them to succeed in their quest for the restoration of the Biafran state. Whatever be the case, you cannot win a war that is not fought or won by the palace of God. This is ideology. This has to do with the people's conviction, people's position about the right to their future, the right to the present, the right to their political alliance, affiliations, and of course, fundamental right of association, which is an inalienable right under the law of the universe. And of course, no any government has the right to usurp the right and the inalienable right of the people under any circumstances. So to this end, if anyone intends to do so, it could be, of course, tantamount to a respite for anarchy. So you can understand now another issue of importance, just as we are saying, that the hatred against the Biafrans has brought Nigeria to its knees, that Nigerian citizens are now nakeding themselves just because of food, hardship, because of becoming more unbearable. And you know what that means? For a man to be in a day without any source of livelihood, not even any, of course, remedy within the shortest time possible for funds or provided by the government. Not at all. You are just on your own. If you're dull, the devil takes you. And that is all. It's quite unfortunate. So would you at this time think you can convince these people who are hungry, protesting naked, to be proud of Nigeria? No, that is fundamental. Would such persons be proud to call himself a Nigerian? So what does that mean? The total humiliation on the part of Nigeria. Of course, it does not give any good record, of course, about Nigeria and its way of oppression is being defined, of course, in injustice and uncertainty. Whatever be the case, the first minister under Tinubu's administration, Matawale, has been allegedly accused of sponsoring terrorism. You know, when the chief security officer is being accused in such magnitude by a bandit known as Bello, mythology. Well, it is. We saw the video that went viral, where the this young guy, the bandits allegedly accused the chief defense minister that he is a terrorist. He harbors, sponsors, of course, and promotes the art of terrorism. It is quite unfortunate. Would it be the reason why Nigerians will not know peace, not even anytime soon? Would it be the reason why the militaries are not magicians, of course, and are not anywhere, everywhere at the same time? Only time we continue to reveal these realities. But it's quite unfortunate for the defense minister to have been accused of such by people perhaps who understood his antecedents and his way in and way out. It's quite unfortunate. But then, whatever happens, you understand very clearly that there is something fundamentally wrong with the entire facet of Nigerian existence, not until those things are isolated and, of course, and dealt with. You may not experience peace, whatever that means to you. Of course, there can't be peace except there is justice, except, of course, the criminality and injustice meted on the front Biafran territory, of course, is at rest. Then will Nigeria be prepared for peace? But as long as it stands, there is no peace anywhere, not even Asorok, not even, of course, the Oval Seat is presumed to be peaceful and have enjoyed peace and progress. And in the absence of peace, there can be progress. And would be the reason why Nigerians are stuck in the wheel of motionless and despair. And this is unfolding. More, of course, surprises to spring up, or perhaps more devastating experience might possibly ensue. But whatever be the case, Simon Eber has been brave and, of course, intelligent by calling on all Biafrans, wherever they reside, especially within the Nigerian territory, should, of course, and do whatever is good for themselves. And this is the only way forward for anyone who cares to know and to preserve his own people. I think you have demonstrated this courage and sincerity and commitment to the protection of life and property of the citizens. Now, if this protest lingers beyond today, what do you think could possibly happen? Now, it is not just setting uh, the time frame for the protest. What is the turnaround time or the response time? What are the templates of achieving or getting the attention of the president, the executive, and the legislatures, because they are the fundamental problem. The problem of Nigeria is fundamental, is basically the foundation, the constitution, and of course, the people within the face of governance of public offices. They are the one constituting and causing this Hiroshima, of course, to continue working or moving without direction. This illusion, having no clear mental picture of what the future holds, of what they intend to achieve as a nation. And this have informed the reason because having watched them from afar and near, of course, the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in Ezra, which was initiated by Mazis Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, saying that these people, we can move forward. They are setting us backward, and of course, we must rise up to fulfill destinies. We must do all we can to keep them aloof, to distance ourselves from them. And this has informed the reason why the agitation for the Biafra restoration has been sustained. Now, in a country that is blessed with human and natural resources, but yet impoverished by reckless and misgovernance on the part of the security authorities, could they in any way blame the people who decided to unfortunately cry out? But it appears that nobody could even listen to them, just as the president Ahmed Bola Tinubu is at large, and of course has failed to address Nigerians as far as uh, by the time of the review of this program. That if you fail to address the nagging issues, of course, Nigerians are afraid, which I know that nothing would stop them from despising such advice or whatever you might call it. But be that as it may, we are focusing on the fact and the reality that the Biafran Republic government in Israel has maintained her position, however odious and exacerbating any situation. You see, today Nigerian is agog across the entire region of this country, the north, the south, the east, except for the east, no, that is relatively, of course, peaceful, and everybody is going about his or her legitimate business, except for the sit at home that have enjoyed 100% compliance. But that away from the sit at home, which culminates today, we are going to know and see how far can these people push at this agenda for a new Nigeria. Could it be, of course, a new Nigeria by way of disintegration or remaining under this deceptive nomenclature, or perhaps calling for National Sovereign Conference, which has become a dead end? But whatever be the case, it's quite unfortunate that Nigerians are not heard of. Their silence, of course, could no longer be taken or mistaken to be weakness. Well, whatever that be, I'm not just trying to exonerate them or make them more special, but whatever be the case, we are going to watch as things unfold. Don't miss any opportunity to discuss with Chigos Debo. Kindly, of course, hit the like buttons as we are seeing now. We just have just one person, and we have people watching us, of course, seeing the serenity and the natural background. Uh, of course, from here is quite interesting. Life is not green, of course, in this part of the world, the Nigerian state. Nigerians have seen hell under the watch of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, which is a validation of the failed system, a validation of an illegal system. And this illegality has been, of course, has become a cog in the wheel of progress of all as sundry. And this have informed the reason why the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and of course, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has vowed that Biafra or nothing else, Biafra or dead, and eventually nothing can deter them from having that established uh, fight for independence, for freedom. Not just independence is not just something we can overemphasize. When you have your freedom and liberty, you can as well develop at your own pace and create an enabling environment for such to strive. You will not be gagged and, of course, conditioned in a way that makes it almost impossible for you to survive. Whatever be the case, we continue to bring your way the in-depth analysis of events. But something you must take home: what have they achieved in the last 2 days? What did they intend to achieve subsequently, and what would be, of course, the turnaround time and the focus regarding this. Whatever be the case, I will keep on, of course, discussing here and update us with the happenings here. Whatever be the case, we want to know your response, and of course, you have any contact of persons across the Nigerian states where this protest is going on. You could also reach out to us. To let's get to know what exactly is happening. But to know that things are no longer uh, perceived to be the same story just as we heard in previous night. Whatever be the case, we continue to iron out. Of course, let me not just say, but the reality is that this protest is just a dead end because it will not turn out to be in the interest of the downtrodden, the less privileged in the society. And to this end, someone was said, I've abandoned my philanthropic, of God, gestures just to fight for freedom so that people can get freedom. When they get the freedom, they can fend for themselves. When they get the freedom, they can live out their aspirations and fulfill their expectations in life. Now, with the people protesting for hunger, have any hope of expectations been met? Would they have some sense of fulfillment in Nigeria? Why what they are fighting is just stomach infrastructure is no longer secured. If the stomach is not secured, then what else can be secured, my brother? If a country that calls itself or herself a sovereign state cannot secure the stomach of her citizens, are they not more than useless? They should be devolved, they should be dissolved. Of course, their sovereignty is not absolute. The United Nations should do the needful. A nation that cannot cater for her citizens, that cannot provide for her citizens, uh, I mean, that cannot protect her citizens. Its sovereignty is threatened. So the sovereignty is not absolute. This is what people of great concern, of wisdom are calling. Let this Nigerian state be dismembered. Let people go their separate ways. Let people fend for themselves. And the government is promising that in no distant time that the prices of food will drop. So people will start packing sand now and be eating, so that people will no longer patronize those who are, of course, who are selling foodstuffs. So they will start eating sand, so that by the time nobody's patronizing them again, they start giving out as takeaways, as souvenirs. You have no plan, or your plan has failed, and we are witnesses to this. Okay, Amber Call is say, may God be with you on the way day, brother. Well, thank you again. I appreciate. Keep, of course, turning in your comments. Let's get to know. No, let's discuss. Any country that cannot feed her population is a useless country. It does not exist or ceases to exist. They should, of course, call on the UN. Let the UN do what is needful. Let people, of course, control themselves and face the reality by themselves. You cannot be stuck in this wheel of motionless and despair. You're not moving. You are retrogressive in nature. Your own populations are naked and are stripping naked because it is becoming almost impossibly difficult for them to fend for their families. I saw that man I can read the depression, depression and frustration in his face is boldly written. When someone cannot feed, he's not looking well, he's not looking fine. As you can see, the person, you see that this man is, his spirit is wounded. His soul, his spirit, his entire being has been shattered, has been battered. Why? Because you have the president, you have the executive, you have the senior president who does not care. What they will always say, let us allow the poor to breathe. Now the poor are walking on the streets of Lagos naked. Where is that excellency? I mean, where is that claim, the center of excellence? The man looks so, malnourished. I don't have to blame him. Perhaps he could be a retiree, or perhaps someone working but could no longer cater for himself. He wakes up, he walks as elephants and eats as ants. That is where this is happening. When you hear the story that somebody always walk like elephants and eat like ants, this is where it happens in Nigeria. The most frustrated, depressed citizens in the world is in Nigeria. That's informed the reason why they are hitting the streets. This is not even the North. You see the aged, not just the young ones, crying, even in Lagos. On several occasions, I've interviewed them. And of course, needed to just drop a tip for them. You see, some will say they have not eaten for the past 2 days. And you see them, they are well malnutritioned, malnourished, or whatever you might call that. They are hungry. Suna jing inua, ebin paha, ebi akpabola. You see, if those who say they were going to show Igbo's pepper, where is the pepper? It's no longer in the market. So the Igbos have been asking, where can they get the pepper? You want to show them. Please, if you know where they are selling the pepper, you can as well take me there. I also know the pepper. Now, pepper is a scarce commodity. Those who said that we're going to show you pepper, Chigos and Igbo, we're going to show you pepper now. No Igbo will do Nigeria. Okay, if that is the case, but that is not my interest. Whatever be the case, this one ruling you, where is ruling you, is ruining your future, not just ruining you, ruining your posterity and everything, of course, you represent. And today, the realities are staring at us. And this have informed the reason, of course, why the people calling for this membership of Nigeria or the solution of Nigeria are today justified. If things are working, a full-fledged man, a father of children, wouldn't strip himself naked. You know what that means? These are dehumanizing experience for a man out of frustration, out of pain, out of anger. Strip himself naked before the public. I think by that singular action, no senator should even remain in Nigeria by now. They should have been chased away to Libya. Honestly. Prior to this time, about a few weeks ago, the senators, they came to tell us that the food reserve or the food bank of the country, National Food Reserve or Food Bank, is empty. How can you be saying that? Why you go, of course, every month with your hardship allowance, while the people who should enjoy such hardship allowance are wallowing in abject. If there is any better word to use, of course, I would have preferred that. Not just abject, they are living, not wallowing. They are swimming in poverty personified, below poverty line. In fact, they are eating. The poverty is not just being eaten; it's been expressed through them when you see them on the streets of Nigeria, of Lagos, just as the people who are stripping themselves naked. And you see how malnourished these people are, not just because they have a bad look, but when there is no sustenance and of course life becoming more impossible. I mean, you don't know what that means. You have never been in that shoe. If you do, you would understand and appreciate what I'm saying today, what we are discussing today, honestly. And that is nothing but just the truth. Most Nigerians, 99% of Nigerians should be subjected under intense medical scrutiny, medical intensive medical care. Everybody say no well, oh, but it depends on the degree of wellness. You know where? But you see, walking in the street of Nigeria, no well at all. Some people, my eyes, even the red self. You see? Some people, you see their eyes every go wrong. You say, these are human eyes. I've been even pussycat. I mean, pussycat has a better eyes. Why do I? There's some eye you will see. You see the devouring fire, the pains and agony. It's now changing the entire the chemistry of their system. It's not funny. Unfortunately, this healthcare system is not working. No social or even health security for the Nigerian masses. In fact, now everybody know himself. Everybody is just on his. In fact, you are just at the mercy of whatever. You are just living, existing. We are not living here. Nigerians are not living. And someone will say, if you like, make the protest with the eat. The truth, whether the Igbos join or not, they are being affected. And if eventually this escalates or culminates to something that could not be controlled, of course, their properties and whatever belongings will also be affected. But we hope there will not be, of course, a loss of lives. And perhaps this is almost impossible in the state of anarchy. And if that becomes, of course, the story, we hope we'll be allowed to tell the story, of course, whatever happens, but things will not remain the same. No, it is only uh, in in the Christian setting or in the okay, you hear say Father, the clergyman will say, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be without any lie. I judge. Oga adi otu ahụ. Oga, it not going to be like that. Not as it was in the beginning. It will not remain like that. We can't continue to be taken for granted. We can't continue the subjugation as it was in the beginning cannot remain. The privation, the hunger as it was in the beginning will not remain. As some said that Nigeria is the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. God punish your generation. God punish you. You see, how can it be not negotiable? People are dying, stripping themselves naked. I mean, uh, people have no source of livelihood, and families are suffering, wallowing in abject poverty, written and described all over them. And you said that it's not negotiable. because you're the one ripping off, you're the one enjoying, of course, the advantage over the people. You don't want people. Of course, they are calling for constitutional review. For me, I don't subscribe to that. Whatever be the case, let this country be splitted and let everybody go and manage himself. Then, if any region decide to die in hunger, you know that it is a collective, of course, bargaining to die and wallow in poverty. The North has more expanse of land, arable land. Unfortunately, has been turned to dens of kidnappers, dens of banditries and others, and people sponsor them to perpetrate this. Just as the defense minister has been allegedly accused by a bandit known as Bello uh, Tolji or whatever is his name, that you are the one sponsoring us. You are in charge. You are the master. Those in authority, the seat of power, are the ones controlling the banditry. No wonder the late head of state, Abacha, said, if crisis persists beyond 24 hours, they know that it's being sponsored by the state. There are people within the corridors of power, the power brokers, the cabals, who are, of course, in control of the resources of the country. And they are using it for their selfish interests, of course, to project or protect or promote their agendas or whatever they want to. It is test sponsored. And he could not be right, even more, of course, in the current realities today. Rather than decimating the Boko Harams and those adopting innocent school pupils, they are busy, of course, collecting 100 naira, 500 in the east, mounting roadblocks. It's why the bushes are not safe, are not secured. They're becoming dead traps or safe havens for kidnappers, ritualists, and all sorts of armed banditries and whatever you call them. It's quite unfortunate, but these are the realities. So you don't have any reason to blame the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in Israel if he resort to any means possible to gain the attention of the international community and, of course, to seek uh, for the recognition of the Biafran sovereignty as he gets and prepares towards the pronouncement. Nigerians are on the street and just to express deep dissatisfaction. Just take your time and watch the videos. That will shock you the pains and agonies of families, children's puppies, the young and old, they are crying. Are we dying? Are we going to die one day? But that is the reality. What can 70,000 do to a man, a family, even a single person who transports himself, in fact, to his place of primary assignment, which, of course, the transportation fare has increased more than 400 to 500% of what it used to be. Now, how can you survive with the same 70,000? You have not talked about eating of lunch. You've not talked about your feeding, your upkeep, your clothing. There is no even clothing allowance. You're just living at the mercy of whatever uh, the day throws at us. But that shouldn't be the way life should. So many young men are bachelors because not that they desire to be so, as we have so many splinters. And some, of course, are now resorting to giving their bodies as a way of uh, sustaining themselves, then to prostitutions and hookup. Would that continue for how long? And if though some have inclination to all these things, but some have been forced as a way of survival. The instinct, of course, to survive has fortunately push them or making them to become objects of exploitations here and there. It's quite unfortunate, but then how long will this continue? How must we allow this evil to continue within our system, within the world at large? It's quite unfortunate that what is happening, but with this protests address such hydra-headed monster or crisis, the devil in Nigeria? The truth to this question is no. So, what is the alternative? What is the only option left? Of course, you know the options. What other time will tell? Let's see how far this will go. But we have known, of course, the end from the beginning because it will not foster any better prospect. We've had it in the past. And this, of course, will not be different because the purpose is not well defined, except, I use the word except, something happened along the time and along the line, but whatever happens, we'll continue to get you intimated and discuss the realities as they continue to unfold. But things are no longer at ease. Things has fallen apart. The center will no longer hold. It is just a matter of time. We'll get to know the next line of action by the protesters, and eventually, if should the president concede the demands of the masses, or will he continue to turn deaf ears and perhaps not addressing the Nigerian masses, which have been calling for his attention? Whatever be the case, we'll continue to get you intimated with these happenings and realities today. Thank you for watching. Continue to roll in your comments, and of course, hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to this channel, and of course turn on the notification button. It's very important so that you can get a video. Subscribe if you have not done so. Use this opportunity to hit the subscription button, turn on the notification bell at the top, and of course select all so that you'll be able to get our videos. We have more exciting discussions. In the past, you could also go through the videos and of course know exactly what is happening and the in-depth analysis or perspective that have been expressed in the past. Of course, keeping it real has been a commitment, and to this end will come your way. Thank you once again for this exciting moment to have been here with Chigos and Debo here in Evening Political Discourse. Wishing you the best and will come your way, of course, with more exciting packages and updates of the development. Good night from this end. Bye for now.